The U.S. military absolutely has the ability to manipulate the weather. By Bill Hoy, that's me. My website is willhoy.com. That's a picture from my backyard. What does it mean to change the weather? Any interference in normal weather patterns is changing weather. For example, when the sun is out, without clouds, the weather is called sunny. When airplanes fill the sky with their emissions, no matter what you want to call those emissions, condensation or nanoparticulate dispersions, and the airplane emissions fill the sky and partially block or completely block the sun, that is a change in weather. It's a bit of a run-on, but I'm just trying to explain this. The weather is changed to cloudy, overcast, hazy, or obscured. What does it mean to manipulate the weather? Manipulation suggests intent. I think it is clear that this phenomenon of airplane mass pollution has been occurring repeatedly for decades. This behavior has not stopped. It is obvious pollution. It should be evident to anyone that the people who are involved in dispersing this pollution are, at minimum, not concerned with the consequences. The best conclusion would be that there is intent of some kind. All right. Check this out. This is from Project Skywater. Experiments involving seeding summer cumulus clouds under Project Skywater started in 1965. These experiments involved aerial seeding of cumulus clouds with silver iodide, salt, dry ice, or urea to induce additional rainfall. Such experiments included cloud seeding over Arizona, Oklahoma, and Texas in 1971 to alleviate drought conditions in those states. So here's some examples. This is Project Skywater. So you take a look at this. You can look into this for yourself. The primary objective of the Great Lakes Snow Redistribution Project is to alleviate the heavy snowfalls which annually hamper Buffalo, New York, and other cities along the shoreline of Lake Erie. In 1968 and 1969, snowstorms occurring early in the winter were seeded with silver iodide and dry ice in an attempt to redistribute snow further inland from the normal heavy accumulations along the southeastern shore. So there you go. You got weather, these are programs. This is experimentations that have happened right on American civilians, man. Here you go. Army conducted 239 secret open-air germ warfare tests. There you go. And this is also from Skywater. This is all from Skywater. Initially over the Caribbean Sea in 1963 and 1965, that's from another sentence. Since 1968, such experiments have been conducted over Florida. Seeding under the project is done with silver iodide flares, which are dropped directly into suitable clouds from airplanes. There you go. And of course, I tell you the project costs, which, that's another matter. The Department of Commerce's National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, NOAA, supports precipitation modification research on summer cumulus clouds and winter storm clouds under its National Cumulus Modification Project and its Great Lakes Snow Redistribution Project. So there you go, folks. That's Project Skywater there, and these programs have been carried out right over the heads of American civilians. We're lab rats. We're being experimented on here. Moving on. Look at this, folks. This is from Popular Science, mainstream magazine. China's weather manipulation brings crippling snowstorm to Beijing. Folks, let me tell you something. If China's military can do this, the United States military is by far and away more mechanized, advanced, and larger than China's military. So the U.S. military is by far and away capable of creating snowstorms. Get a look at this. This is from last year, January 2022. We have the 2nd of January, 61 degrees, folks. I remember that day, and that's an underreporting. That high temperature is an underreport. It was 65. It was 65. That's what temperature reading I was getting. This is for New Jersey, United States, southern New Jersey in the United States. I was getting 65. And then the next day, 33 degrees and snowing. And look at the low temperature, on the 3rd of January here, 16 degrees, from 61 to 16 within 24 hours. Folks, that's manipulation. I absolutely think that's an intervention. That's not nature. That's an intervention. That's an intelligent intervention. Of course, I have circled here, this was another snowstorm, the 6th and the 7th of January. Not as extreme of a temperature difference there, but that was another snowstorm that I was very suspicious of. But I also want you to just look at here. Look at January 11th. Look at the 11th, 23 degrees. Okay, down to 15 degrees. And then look at the next day, the 12th, up to 42 degrees. Look at these swings. These swings are insane, and these swings aren't even as bad as some of the swings I've seen. I've seen 70 degrees down to 30 degrees within like 12 hours. This is an intervention. This is indicative of an intervention. This is not nature. Look at this. What in God's name is this, folks? A split right down the middle of the country? And this is very common, and this has been going on for, I'd say, about like 7 years. 7 to 10 years, these radical temperature variations are just insane. Get a load of this. This is just another temperature map from years past, which goes on regularly. This has been going, this kind of, look at this jet stream. I mean, look at this. Look at this jet stream, man. These kind of jet streams, crazy jet streams, these snake-like jet streams have been going on for, I'd say from what I've seen, the last 7 to maybe 10 years. And this is just bizarre. And you look at this, what they call the polar vortex, these prostitute weather people prostituting themselves out for a paycheck, call this this polar vortex here. And you look at how much colder it is here in the eastern United States, and this has been a common thing for about the past 7 to 10 years. And you look at how it's much colder in the eastern part of the United States, but then you look all the way up in Anchorage, Alaska, it's plus 11 degrees up there. And folks, I don't know if you realize this, but see, there aren't any glaciers in Chicago, Illinois, that regulate global temperatures, but up in Anchorage and up in the Arctic, there are. And we need that cold weather to be up in the Arctic, not in the continental U.S. Alaska is melting, 60-degree December days, break worrisome record. That's late December, December 29th. Here you go, warmer in Alaska than in San Diego this week. And once again, this is like December 26th of 2021. Warmer in Alaska than in San Diego. Folks, this is very common. You look at, whenever it's really cold in the continental U.S., take a look up into the Arctic. Almost invariably, it's much warmer than normal up in the Arctic. Incredible temperatures. Okay, another hellish day. South America sizzles in record summer temperatures. Argentina, Uruguay, Brazil and Paraguay are reeling from a historic heat wave with temperatures as high as 113 degrees Fahrenheit. And that's a big one. And of course, this is all going on. I'll read the title. While extreme cold freezes North America, historic heat wave in Argentina leaves 700,000 plus people without power in Buenos Aires as millions of beetles invade town and desert. And that's from January 13th. That's right around when the continental eastern U.S. was being hit with snowstorms. And of course, here it is, two headlines there of massive heat waves down in South America. This is what your weather people are not going to really talk to you much about. There's a big one. That's a big one. The oceans, folks, the oceans. All this thermal energy buildup on the planet, the oceans are taking that in, so to speak. The ocean is warming at a rate of 5 Hiroshima nukes a second. That's insane. Here you go. This is a real good one. This chasing ice. One man's mission to change the tides of history with undeniable evidence of our changing planet. Yeah, our changing planet, our collapsing, our life support systems collapsing. Okay? And yeah, this is good. This is good. This is objective. This is visual evidence, objective evidence. This is a good one. Watch this chasing ice. Humans burn 90 to 100 million barrels of oil daily. That's insane, folks. The use of oil is a toxic process, from extraction to production, use, and then disposal of waste. All ocean oil extraction facilities leak, all of them, period. The byproduct gases that are released directly or as a result of the formerly mentioned processes expel carbon, methane, and nitrous oxide. Too much too fast of even a beneficial element can offset the homeostasis of the planet. Carbon, yeah, okay, in many forms, not a pollutant, but too much too fast, you're going to offset the homeostasis of the planet. Not good. Anyone involved with politics is compromised from the outset, period. Politics is a religion. Holds people back from truth. Al Gore, Greta Thunberg, George Soros, the Cortez woman, and Leonardo DiCaprio, to name a few, are all compromised and cannot be trusted. Fox News, CNN, MSNBC, and the BBC are all biased and are owned by the wealthy corporate industrialists like the Rockefellers. This is the same for all National Weather Service personnel. They're all compromised. This is June 20th. Of this past year, 2022, and there's how the skies look, and your National Weather Service people are calling that mostly sunny. And that air quality alert there, that's not related to this atmospheric particulate pollution that you see in the picture, but it is ironic that that is definitely, I would consider that an air quality alert. I think there was a fire going on, something like that, but I would say you never know. I mean, I definitely call that an air quality alert. Absolutely. And that's what these National Weather Service people are. This is they call that mostly sunny. Think those are cirrus clouds, condensation that forms cirrus clouds? Really, man? Come on. That's particulate pollution. Ain't no cirrus clouds, man. And here's this that the National Weather Service people like to show us, this chart here, that when they talk about this chart, they talk about it as if this is a natural process, but I think what they're actually describing in secretly, covertly, is the artificial ice nucleation process. And I think when you got the rain, freezing rain, sleet, and snow, and I think those are the different depending on how fast the cold settles the cold from the atmospheric aircraft emissions when they emit the chemicals into the clouds, and depending on how fast the cold air descends, I think that's what determines whether you get rain, freezing rain, sleet, or snow. And that's what I think this is. Why would the U.S. military want to create snowstorms? Number one, in my opinion, it is primarily a psychological weapon. I think first and foremost, creating snowstorms and cold weather over the eastern half of the U.S., which constitutes the majority of Americans, would be to keep people from wanting to look into the warming of the planet and the totality of human toxification of the planet. Number two, climates do not change in hours, folks. I think it's so obvious. Okay? Going from 65 degrees to 15 degrees in a matter of 24 hours. I mean, climates do not change in hours. However, it is going to be very difficult to get people to want to investigate into the warming of the planet when they are freezing to death without heat or power and sub-zero temperatures while the roof of their home is about to collapse from snow buildup. Weather as a weapon, creating snowstorms is a very effective weapon. You got to picture yourself, you're a psychopath and you have the ability to command people to go and engage in these weather modification programs to use them as a weapon. Picture yourself as a psychopath with those capabilities. What would you do? Of course you would use this as a weapon.